The SEC is finally back, and who better to talk to about that and more than the legendary LSU Tiger himself, Booger McFarland. This is A Cup of Joey with me, Joey Molinaro.
Cup of Joey with Booger McFarland. You know him, you see him everywhere, all over ESPN, football coverage, college football, NFL. You know him, you love him. Booger, thanks for the time today, man. How are you?
I'm doing outstanding, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. How's the you just came off the Peloton. How's the ride?
The ride was good, man. I did a little 30-minute ride. Got a little 12.1 miles in. Just a good sweat. When you're a former defensive lineman, you're used to being fat. You judge a workout by how much you sweat. So today was a great workout.
Do you wear a sweatshirt? Like, do you overdo it? Like, like a beanie?
No, I'm not that fat. I usually ride shirtless.
That's what I.
But hey,
yeah.
But here's the funny thing about it.
Yeah.
I swore I would never ride the bike with those shorts on with the pad in them.
Yep.
And the more I started riding the bike, the more my butt hurt. You know, because black people have usually large rear ends, and I'm no different. So I finally broke down, and I had to go buy a pair of those shorts that look like Depends, man. So I'm proud to say that I'm comfortably wearing Depends as I ride the bike.
Well, that worked out for you then, right? That means it's working. Like if your butt's getting thinner, then you're losing weight. The workouts are working, right?
Or my butt's just naturally big. It's not going to get any thinner. Like, that's just kind of how it goes. But enough of my butt. Let's move on from that conversation.
That's cool. No, I feel you. You said that you drink coffee in the mornings, kind of clear out the system. You just go black coffee. What kind of coffee you digging?
No, I am extra large hot coffee, cream only from Dunkin' Donuts, no sugar. I'm a big stevia guy. Again, trying to fight the fat. I stay away from the sugar.
Okay.
So I usually use my own sweetener called stevia.
Okay. Any iced coffee at all? You stay away from
No. I think iced coffee is like the devil. Like, who drinks coffee with ice in it? Like, to me, that defeats the purpose.
I mean, you can't knock until you try it, though.
Well, I kind of feel like iced coffee is not for the brothers. I kind of feel like that most black people drink hot coffee and most white people drink iced coffee.
Oh, I'm drinking a hot coffee right here, but I got an iced coffee in the fridge for later.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So you can't do both. I can do both.
Well, and just to be honest, my daughter drinks iced coffee, so you and her both kind of debunked my theory there a little bit.
Oh, I love it. That's cool. So new gig, you're in with the legendary Chris Berman, man. How's that going? How you liking it?
Listen, growing up watching NFL primetime with TJ and Boomer, and just the way they did highlights was awesome. And I, just like everyone else, would just sit around and wait and watch that highlight show and just kind of see whose nickname they made fun of, and see what kind of boomerisms that Chris came up with. And so for me to get a chance to do the show with him, the first time I was super nervous, and I really don't get nervous on TV just because I've always looked at TV as just a continuation of what I do when I'm with my friends. And so TV's never really made me nervous. But the first time I sat in that studio with Berman and he came in and he was just TV now, just TV.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh boy, it's going to be a long show. But he made me feel so comfortable, man. And it was so much fun. It's the highlight of my week, man, when I get an opportunity to sit down and just watch him. And I find myself sometimes having to snap out of it because I'll be paying so much attention to him. I'm like, you got a job to do. You better pay attention and then know when it's your time to get in.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you come up with any? Well, what did he call you when you were playing? Did he have a nickname for you? I'm sure he had to.
Man, that's been so long ago. Plus, I got a built-in nickname. Booger's kind of built in, I mean, it's not like, Minshew or, some of these other guys. Like, my name is kind of built in. So you would really do me and yourself a disservice by trying to change one of the more unique nicknames in sports.
That's true. Yeah, you made the work easy for him. I'm sure he appreciated that one. Are you working on any yourself? Like, you're filling in that Tom Jackson role. Like, do you have any of the whoops or any of the bumbos out there? Or?
I threw a couple of whoops in there last week, and I looked at Boom just to make sure he didn't get offended. Because that's kind of his thing. And when he didn't get offended, I'm like, okay, maybe next week I'll slide 2 in.
Yeah, we can just each week we can progress.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of continue progressing along, and by the end of the season, we'd be just doing highlights. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah, my guys at Pardon My Take would would like that a lot. Do you miss the Monday Night Football booth at all?
I mean, some nights I do, some nights I don't. That game just depends on what game you get.
Yeah.
You know, if you get a really good game, everybody loves to be there. If you get a stinker, then of course not. Nobody misses calling a stinker.
I feel like, unfortunately, Monday Night Football kind of got stuck with a lot of stinkers, though. Did you not have any play? You're like, hey, give us something better to work with here, man. I can only do Jags, Buccaneers so often.
Unfortunately, that's above my pay grade. I just call the games. I don't go and tell Raj, hey, make sure you give me. I need Ravens Chiefs every week. You know.
Yep. No, that's true. I get it. It's just I feel like Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football always get some pretty good heaters, and then Monday Night Football kind of, they just got left out to dry. So I felt bad.
Well, we and just as we say that, maybe the game of the year so far this Monday night with Ravens Chiefs. So I think it kind of goes in cycles, man. And this year it seems like ESPN's got a good Monday night schedule, so I look forward to watching it.
Was it tough when you had to when you were roaming the sidelines on the Booger Mobile and I think it's PFC called it a snot rocket, and then you got a booth going? I mean, that had to be tough chemistry there, right?
You know what, man? Just like any job, man. You figure out what it takes to do the job, and once you figure it out, it becomes more natural. But it's not that big a deal.
Was it ever scary on that thing? Like, would you ever feel like it was losing control? Like going too fast?
If I were driving, it probably would. But fortunately for me, I had somebody driving it. So I'm a fast driver. Like my family knows, I usually go 10 to 15 over the speed limit.
Yeah.
And so, fortunately for myself, I didn't have to call the game and drive at the same time.
What kind of car are you? What's the best car you've ever had? Best car you've ever driven?
What was it? The two-door, the Gold Wing Mercedes.
Ooh.
I think it's the Gold Wing with the doors that come up like that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Was that one you first made it to the league? That was your purchase?
No, that was my retirement gift. I always said I wanted a sports car convertible type deal, and when I retired, I got it. I kept it 3 years, and in 3 years, I only put like 10,000 miles on it. I'm like, this is a waste of time, but at least I got it, and we moved on.
Yeah, sure. You got you scratched the itch. I feel you there. I'm from Indy. I'm based out of Indianapolis right now. I know that you won a Super Bowl with the Colts. Not a Colts fan, so I can't thank you for that.
How do you live in Indy and not be a Colts fan?
My dad grew up a Steelers fan, and so I got that passed down to me. So I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and people give me a hard time about it all the time. But you spent that time in Indy. You won a Super Bowl here. I mean, you have to have some pretty good thoughts of Indy, right?
I got traded to Indianapolis, man. And when I got that call on a Tuesday afternoon, I was scared to death, dude, because I'd never been to the Midwest. I'd never been up there. And I'm not a fan of cold weather. So you couple all that together, and I'm like, man, what am I getting myself into? And I was on that plane. I'll never forget. I took an AirTran flight. That shows you how long ago that's been.
Yeah.
I took an AirTran flight for the Indy, and I landed. And before I got off the plane, I said a prayer, and I was like, here goes nothing. And it's the best 2 years in my life, just about, man. Just because the people in Indy were so nice. They were so hospitable to me. Literally the friendliest town I've ever been to. I enjoyed my time in Indy, except when it would snow and be below zero. Other than that, man, it was a great time. And I enjoyed being in a city where the homes had basements. Because growing up in Louisiana and living in Florida, we didn't have basements. So It's kind of cool to be in a town and go over, teammates' house where they had a basement. And I thought the basement idea was the coolest thing ever, man.
The basements are the shit. Yeah, you only went to the friend's house who had a basement growing up.
Right.
That's where you got away with everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was awesome as well that they don't have. I mean, I guess it makes sense they don't have those down there. But Jim Irsay, how was your relationship with him?
Jim was really cool, man, because he was the first owner that really embraced having full conversations with the team. And so when we were making our Super Bowl run, he would bring the like the leadership council in his office. I mean, he's got, wood everywhere in the office. It looks like something from, the Gothic ages or whatever.
Yeah.
And he just set us down and he'd be like, hey, what do we need? What do we need to be successful? And literally anything we named, we got. And he didn't ask any questions. He was just like, listen, just make sure, because these opportunities don't come along all the time, where the feeling in the building was different. The Colts had won and been to the playoffs years before I got there, but they never made that run to the Super Bowl. And I think we all got a sense that it felt a little different. And he was just like, whatever we need, let's take advantage of this opportunity. They don't come often. And it was a magical run, man. But Mr. Irsay was great. I saw him a couple of years ago at the owners' meeting, sat down and talked to him. He was still great. Just a phenomenal human being.
So you think he gets, I feel like he gets kind of a bad rap, on social media and everything. It's not what you see on there is not what you get.
Social media is the vocal minority. That's the way I approach social media, whether it's good or bad. It's the vocal minority, and I'm never going to judge a person's reputation based on social media. Jim Irsay is no different than any other human being. He's not perfect, but I think when you look at the amount of good that he's done, and the way he tries to ingratiate himself with his fan base, I think you got to give him a lot of credit for that. Doesn't mean he's perfect, but it just means that he understands he's in a position of leadership, he's in a position of ownership, and he owes it to his fan base and the NFL community to try to give back. And I just like the way he interacts. He's one of the few owners in any sport that interacts with the fan. Yep. And you got to give him a lot of credit for that.
Did you used to hit up St. Elmo's after a post-game win?
Love St. Elmo's, man. The little shrimp cocktail with the little homemade cocktail sauce was awesome. Oh, yeah. Just great people, man. St. Elmo's is one of my top 10 restaurants in America. I would put it right up there with Burns Steakhouse in Tampa. This place called, it's out in Seattle. What was the name of it? Wild Ginger in Seattle. Like just some of the great restaurants, Prime 112 in Miami, just some great spots that I've been to, and St. Elmo's is right up there.
Yeah, the environment in there too. Like the food is great, but the environment and the customer service, I feel like that really sets it apart.
Yeah, without a doubt, it's good, man.
It is. Would Peyton? Would he kind of lead the charge on that whole thing? I feel like he was the one that was kind of getting everybody going there.
Peyton was just the dude, man. Like that was one of the things that I really didn't know how or what to expect when I got there. It's like, here's this guy who's just like this bigger than life figure. Yeah. And my first day in the locker room, he plays a joke on me. He's got the pen. He's like, hey, I need you to sign this ball. And it's one of those pens that when you press it down, it shocks you. And so he gives me the ball and the pen, and he's kind of over there waiting, looking out of the corner of his eye, seeing it when I'm going to get shocked. And, as a defensive lineman, I'm used to a little pain. So I felt it, but I'm like, okay, this feels weird, but nothing crazy. And finally, he just came over. He's like, you didn't feel anything? I was like, yeah. He's like, did it hurt? I was like, no, it didn't hurt. And so I'm like, if that's the best you got, then it's going to be a long year for you. Yeah. And so it was funny, man, because he's just a normal dude. We have a good win on the road. We come back on the plane. Peyton will grab a couple of brewskis, sit back with the offensive lineman, and just have some fun. It's just nothing different than any other person would do. Off season, let's play some golf. We go out to Crooked Stick, and me, him, Ken Dilger, Jeff Saturday play a little golf. So just a typical dude, great human being. His personality doesn't fit his persona, because his persona says bigger than life, but his personality is just, I'm just a down-to-earth kid from New Orleans, Louisiana.
So you guys probably bonded over that a little bit, right? I mean, you're a Louisiana native, correct?
Yeah, we had conversations. I wouldn't say we bonded. I'm not like he and I are just like we're on this text chain since we played together. But yeah, he and I, we're always very cordial when we see each other. And
no, I just meant like when you were playing together that you had that.
Yeah. There was easy conversation when we first met. There was some synergy there, both of us being from Louisiana.
Did you ever get in on any pranks with him?
No, just because after the little pen and ball deal, I figured his pranks were all too corny, and I was trying to find some pranks that were a little cooler.
You would think somebody with the resources that he has would be able to pull off something a little better than than a pin. Maybe like a whoopee cushion or something at least. I mean, geez.
Yeah, but he never did. He was I'm sure he was too busy watching 7,000 hours of film every night. So
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, you mentioned you're from, Louisiana. Got that Louisiana tie. Got to talk about the Tigers. You'll be happy to know I'm an LSU fan as well. Newly come LSU fan.
okay, no. Okay, stop. So you're from Indy. You're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. How the hell did we become a Tiger fan? Please explain to me the ties there.
Yeah. It's I do an impersonation of Coach O. And
Okay, stop right there. Give me the impersonation, because you can't say you do it without actually doing it.
Well, we got Booger McFarland here. He's a great Tiger. He's one of the best Tigers we've ever had. I really appreciate him. Everything he does for the program, I really appreciate. We're going to go down there. We're going to hit him hard. We're going to come and go Tigers.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Thank you. Yes. So I do one of him and the people of Louisiana and Baton Rouge and LSU. They just embraced it a lot, and they, because I do Saban as well, and the people of Alabama did not like it as much. They did not appreciate me making fun of their Jesus.
Was the Saban as good?
Yeah, I mean, it's gone viral. People know me as doing Saban and Coach O.
Okay, give me a little bit, and I'll judge if the Saban is as good as the O.
Okay. What do you want Saban to talk about? What throw him topic?
Saban press conference. He's got the Coke bottle and the Dasani bottle, and his team just won 44-0, and he's trying to prove a point.
Well, I mean, you're going to write whatever you want to write. I don't have time for that. I'm not a media guy. I run a football program. So when you want to write about that we're going to go out and we're going to beat somebody's ass, that's not my problem. All right. So when you're going to ask me these questions that you're going to bring every single week about you're going to do this and you're going to do that and you're going to play these players, I don't have time for it. So quit asking.
That's pretty good, dude. Coach O is a hair better. I feel like with the Saban, we went a little bit overboard with the hand gestures.
Okay.
About 10% overboard. He does use a lot of them.
Okay.
But they are he does take a pause because I think his muscles get tired. He does pause every now and then.
Okay. Noted. Thanks. But anyways, yeah, people of Alabama, they did not appreciate me. And I'm not coming after their coach. I'm just it's what I do. I'm having fun. And so they did not appreciate it. The LSU people embraced it, thought it was great, had fun with me, and I appreciated that. And so then I love Coach O and love Joe Burrow and love SEC football and LSU. So I was just like, screw it, I'm in. And then, of course, the year that I say I'm in, then they go on this run, and I'm at the national championship game, and it was crazy. So I'm a newly adopted LSU fan.
I got you. Good deal.
I don't know if that meets your standards because you're.
Well, I mean, basically what you said, just jumped on the bandwagon, and you're hoping I'll accept you. So I got to think about it.
Okay, well, whatever I got to do to get in the graces, because I feel like I've done a good job. I feel like I've been kind of a lucky charm, since I came aboard.
Okay. Well, listen. Based on what happened last year and us finding a quarterback in Joe Burrow, make sure you stay on the bandwagon. Then
that's what I'm saying. I'm not going anywhere, Booger. I'm here to stay. I'm talking with Miles Brennan. I'm getting him pumped up. I'm making sure that he's ready. That's why I'm going to ask you. It's going to come out on Monday, so hopefully the Tigers will be 1-0 after playing Mississippi State. What are we thinking? What are the expectations for the 2020 LSU team?
Well, I think LSU goes right back to where they were the year before Joe Burrow. And it's really simple. LSU has NFL talent, regardless of how many guys left and went to the NFL. All across the board, they have NFL talent. The key will be what you can get out of Miles Brennan. They made a conscientious effort to open the offense up with Joe Brady. Now you got Steve Binsminger, Scott Linehan are tasked to do the same thing. They're going to keep it open. But what are you going to get out of the quarterback? Stingley, I can name a bunch of players. Some of them you may have heard of, some of them that you may have not, but they're still going to be really good. Can Brennan play the position? He doesn't have to play it at Joe Burrow's level, but what he can't do is go back to LSU pass quarterback. If he just plays somewhere in the middle, LSU, they got 10 games, they'll win 7, 8, 9, and if they get lucky, they might win all 10.
Yeah.
That's kind of what LSU's been pre-Joe Burrow, and that's kind of what they're going to be after.
I feel like I said to somebody the other day, I said, I feel like LSU's to the point now. I mean, I feel they've always been that way, but especially now, I feel like it's picking up to where, you know, they really just like reload, especially, you know, like it's not as much like, okay, we got to figure some things out. I feel like they reload. Am I wrong there? Like, I feel like they're just going to hop right in and they're going to have players everywhere still.
They reload everywhere, but we got to go back to the quarterback position. We've never been able to load, let alone reload at that position.
Yeah.
So, you know, tailback would be fine. Wide receiver, just the next guy will come in. Okay, Chase, Jefferson, Marshall, Palmer, Booty. I mean, it just keeps going.
Yeah.
That's what Louisiana is, man. It's kind of like California and baseball players, or Texas and
Sure.
you know, football players. I don't know what Indiana's known for, but
Basketball.
whatever y'all are like. Okay, I mean that was back in the day, Larry Bird, but I wouldn't quite
What?
go there anymore.
No, we're still basketball. Come on now.
Who's the last great basketball player to come out of Indiana?
We have players in the NBA like every year that get drafted.
I didn't hear a name. I'm still listening.
I mean, right now on the Nuggets, you have Gary Harris.
Okay.
On the Celtics, you got Gordon Hayward.
Okay.
Mike Conley was on.
By the way, Gordon Hayward and I did a Peloton race, and I lost to him.
Okay, so you know he's a multi-athlete guy. He's better than just at basketball. Come on, Booger.
I hear you.
Indiana's a basketball place.
I've heard of Indiana being called a Hoosier State. I'm just giving you a hard time.
All right. So, do you have a prediction for LSU, or are you just going to stay away from that?
You know what? Let's just call it 8-2.
8-2. Okay. Lose to Alabama and
I don't know. We got Alabama at home. I don't know who we're going to lose to. I don't think. First of all, I don't think any SEC team is going to undefeated.
okay.
Just because when you play 10 straight SEC games, I just think at some point you're bound to slip up. I don't think anyone's going undefeated. I think that every team is probably going to lose one game. And LSU's got they got Florida, they got Alabama, they got Auburn. Mississippi State's going to be better. Not that I'm predicting Lane Kiffin. So it's just tough every week. You know, no longer do you get to take a week off with the Citadel or Utah State and kind of rest up.
Sure.
You got to go out and line up and play every week. So I'm saying 8-2. If the ball bounces our way, 9-1, and if Miles Brennan is sleeping and going to church every weekend, 10-0.
I love it. We can only hope for that. Booger, thanks for the time, man. I really, really appreciate it. Glad that we got to meet and talk a little bit finally, and looking forward to watching you with Boomer every Sunday.
Anytime, man. Thanks, buddy.
Right on.